So far, I have done my update videos for my car. But today I'm trying something new and I'm just sitting in my kitchen. I have some really exciting news. I'm getting paid for my first Snapchat video. And apparently I'm getting paid $1,000 for it. I received a message from Snapchat this morning that said I had 10,000 crystals available for payout in 2 weeks once I filled out my information. For those that don't know, I started posting infrequently to Snapchat about a year ago, and it really picked up after I had a manic break. I want to say in March, maybe even February, and it just kind of went crazy from there. I'm not sure exactly when I became an official creator. I want to say it was April, but it could have been March. I think it was probably March. I feel like it was around my birthday. So it was kind of just a perfect storm of things that all occurred at once this spring. I had a bunch of really, really big, traumatic events that fueled my mania, because when I go through something traumatic, the first thing that my system does is kick itself into overdrive and I become really manic, or I call it mania, but really it's like a state of hyperarousal. I'm just really on edge and really energized, and I constantly have to go, and I'm like always moving, always running. I don't like to sit still. I don't like to think very much. I just do. That's not great. I don't recommend living that way. I don't recommend just doing rather than thinking. So, anyways, it took me 6 months to go from becoming a creator to seeing a payout. And I haven't seen the money yet. I refuse to believe any of this is real until the money's in my account. But in 2 weeks, I might have $1,000 from Snapchat. And I still absolutely plan to come over to YouTube for the most part. I will use Snapchat. There are things I love about Snapchat, and I'm so new to YouTube that I don't really have anything to say that I love about it yet. I like that YouTube is transparent with their payment stuff, and they say you need these specific things to get paid. Snapchat doesn't do that. Snapchat's just like, follow all our rules, and if we like you and everyone else likes you, you might get money eventually. So it was really a big gamble with Snapchat. I gambled hundreds of thousands of dollars, most of which I didn't have. It was mostly money that I borrowed at high interest rates. It was a terrible decision. I was not mentally well in the spring. This video is probably going to end up being about 10 minutes, and I don't think I'm going to keep limiting these, because this is not where I'm going to become famous. This is more for me and my friends and my family to see what's going on in my life. So, yeah. I would love to be sponsored by an energy drink company. Anyone that knows me knows exactly what company that would be. But I'm going to try to hide their cans for now, because why give them free advertising as if they don't already have all the free advertising in the world? Alright, so we talked about my exciting news. I'm going to get paid for living my dream. Is it enough? No. Is it a start? Yeah, and actually a pretty substantial one. You know, $1,000 that's not a small amount of money. These days it doesn't buy a lot, but it's a proof of concept. It's proof that the money can come in, I can do this, and this is worth pursuing. Over the next 30 days, I have some very important decisions to make. I need to basically figure out if I can avoid bankruptcy and refinance my home, which I can only be in for 2 more years per an agreement that I made with my ex-wife. So, with that said, everything's changed now. All of a sudden, I have this opportunity to make money doing what I wanted to do. I could potentially liquidate the entire business and pursue this full time if I can make sure that money will continue to flow. It seems like a crazy move. It kind of seems reckless, but at the same time, I haven't really been able to run my business properly for years. I haven't been able to work in it much at all over the last, for sure 12 months. So I think keeping it here and trying to keep it alive is it's just burning me out. It's just burning the company out. It's just burning ashes to the ground. And there's actually a lot of money in those ashes. So it's probably a good idea for me to start getting some of that money out and start liquidating some of those assets and start a new life. And if I can start that new life and remain in this house and have my family come back and all of that, that's great. I would love that. But I think it's smart to still consider the fact that that might not happen. I might lose this house in 2 years. I might lose this house before 2 years. And that's okay. I'll be all right. I'll go somewhere new. I'll live some other life. What's important is that my dreams can happen now. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I have a chance. And I wasn't recording these videos a month ago. But for the few people that were still around and in my life a month ago, I was ready to be done. I was ready to check out. And I was really struggling to not, try and do that. So this is a big change. It feels good. I'm really excited. I'm really happy to have this opportunity. These are kind of hard to make. This is a lot to share. I can feel tension in my body and I'm shaking, and I don't think it's from the energy drink. It's because I want to share something in these last 2 minutes of this video. I have to set a time limit or I'll just go on forever. So yesterday in therapy, we went over my goals that I set in March when I first saw this therapist. I had 2 goals, and they were Madison goals. I wanted to connect with my girlfriend's kids, which has been really hard for me. So that was goal 1. Great goal. Love to do that, but now it seems kind of hopeless. Goal number 2, I wanted to stop giving everything for other people. I suck at putting myself first. I always do anything and everything I can for everyone else. I've always been able to put others before myself, and I've been able to do things for others that I can never do for me. And I always thought that I would find someone who I could just do everything for them and they could do everything for me. And that's not how life works. That was never going to happen. But that was my goal. And in early April, I met a girl in the UP. And she was in a really bad situation, addicted to a lot of drugs, with a really shitty boyfriend. And the night that we spent together involved me breaking, and this girl picking me up off the floor and holding me and taking care of me, and we basically trauma bonded. And then I made it my mission to save this girl from her very toxic boyfriend. I threw away everything to try and save this girl. Oh my god, there's still fruit flies, and they're flying around in this film, but whatever. We are crossing the 10-minute threshold. Shit. Specifically, what's really upsetting to me is that my therapist encouraged me to save this girl. 1 week after meeting this girl for the first time in a substance-fueled hotel room with her boyfriend, I talked to my therapist about wanting to go back up to the UP to bring firepower with me and to basically use any means necessary to get this girl out of her situation. Because her boyfriend made her stop talking to me. There's a lot more to the story, but basically I hadn't heard from her for a week. I didn't know if she was okay. I didn't know what was going on. The way that they left my hotel room was not great. And my therapist really let me down. My therapist's job was to say, you're manic, you're not mentally okay, and you should not be doing this. If you aren't going to stop, you need to go to the hospital. You need to check yourself in. You need to be put on mood stabilizers to come out of this mania. This is the same week that there was a kitchen fire in my house. That was a massive, traumatic incident. And my therapist failed me. And it may have cost me everything. It could have all been stopped if she just said, this isn't right. You're not thinking clearly. You shouldn't do this. It would have saved me tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours, hundreds of hours traveling to see this girl, trying to help this girl. It's unfortunate. It's really hard to put any blame on anyone else. But if anybody specifically let me down this spring, it was my therapist. And to make things worse, this is the first time I went to therapy where I was accepted as a system. I was believed to be a system, finally, after years of trying to figure out what was going on with me. I was so happy. I'd only been in therapy with this provider for about a month, maybe a little longer, but we were making a lot of progress. And two months after this event occurred, 2 months into me fighting and giving everything I had to save this girl, my therapist suddenly had to take a leave of absence for 2 to 3 months. That was incredibly destabilizing. But I try really hard to not blame therapists because they can't control these things. I'm back with her now. And I found out that for the last 8 years, she had a tumor in her brain. And that tumor started to grow. And that tumor was growing, I'm sure, when she advised me to keep pursuing this girl. So was it even her fault? Was she even thinking clearly? Probably not. And that's how I got here. That's how I threw my whole life away. But I'll get it back. Because I've never met anyone as strong as I am. I've never met anyone as driven as I am. And when I see that something works, and I want that thing that I've seen works, I will give anything to make it happen. My life is more of a mess than it's ever been before. This will be the hardest thing I've ever done. But I will do it because I want to. We've already passed 15 minutes. I've said a lot of stuff that I didn't think I would say on camera. I think this is a good place to leave off. I imagine even in just the last 3 days, you've seen my mood pick up if you've been watching these. And I'm getting to the point where I'm just trying to manage the potential drift into mania, because I don't want to ever be manic again in my life. So, thanks for watching. Sorry this was a long one. Hopefully it was interesting. I hope you all have a wonderful day.